What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. If you can give me the HKO special, help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. All right, so we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith, Jason Whitlock, and here we go. Stephen A. Smith calls Jason Whitlock a fat and seed of the devil. So Stephen A. has seemingly blasted fellow sports pundit Jason Whitlock on the journalist a talking head, a fat, something, deeming him as a product of the devil. So during the latest episode of the Stephen A. Smith show, the Hollis and Queens native addressed growing dissent among members of sports media, taking that many attribute as shots aimed at Whitlock. Whitlock has infamously been critical of ESPN First Take hosts in the past. In a clip shared on social media, Smith mentioned an unnamed person on fond of, stating that he has a hatred towards this person in question. There's a lot of people out there who want to address other names, the 55-year-old, but there's one particular who remained nameless, but I will not deny I think he's a fat, no good, something, and despite to the core he added. So let's listen to Stephen A. Smith.
And there's a lot of people out there that want me to address other names. There's one particular person who will remain nameless, and I will not deny it. I think he's a fat, no-good bastard who I despise to the core. That is not Marcellus Wiley I'm talking about. It ain't hard to figure out who the hell I'm talking about. I'm where I'm at. That particular individual is where he's at. And I'll leave it at that. And no, I'm not talking about Marcellus Wiley again. No, I'm not talking about my former colleague on First Take. No, I'm not talking about them. They ain't fat bastards who are seeds of the devil, wishing nothing but black folks harm. But I'll leave that for another day, for when the time is right.
Okay, so that's Stephen A. Smith calling out Jason Whitlock. And what Smith insisted that he doesn't mean to wish unharmed person harm. He knows that he's not referring to Marcellus Wiley, former NFL star and longtime sports analyst, has discussed Smith on his own YouTube show, Never Shut Up. It's not Marcellus Wiley that I'm talking about. The NBA insider was quick to clarify, doing that many people would likely know the unnamed figure in the crosshairs. It ain't hard to figure out who I'm talking about. So Smith said he's not referring to any person that he worked with on First Take, leading many points to Whitlock, so who have worked for Fox and the intended target of his era. He has made a career out of wishing others the worst, but I'm not talking about Marcellus Wiley again. I'm talking about my former client on First Take. So yes, so the New York best-selling author continued at it. No, not talking about, but they ain't, fat somethings who are the seed of the devil, wishing nothing but black forms harm. But I will leave that for another day when the time is right. So Smith's comments came after Whitlock degraded him on multiple occasions, critiquing his multi-million-dollar annual salary, accusing of backstabbing his co-workers, such as ESPN employee Max Kellerman. Whitley recently claimed that new ESPN First Take on Shannon Sharpe was distruthful about the circumstances surrounding his split with Skip Bayless and FS1 Undisputed. So I know that FS1 happiness, and I'm going to say this speaking more specifically to Shannon Sharpe. Cut it out, the 56-year-old said last month. Shannon Sharpe is trying to point a finger at a Fox executive or two, trying to smear them and put pressure on them to drum up the media storm of needing to be replaced. So when Jason Whitlock attempt to throw Stephen A. So just going to watch a little clip of Jason Whitlock here.
Took your team to the NBA Finals, and you're not going to give an explanation? My expectations have been so lowered that I knew this story would spin racial. It started spinning racial last night on social media, and Woj, I don't think, didn't tweet this out until like 1:35 a.m. And immediately the "What about Brett Favre" tweets started. And I'm like, hold on. An NBA coach is facing discipline for illicit or irresponsible or immoral relationship in his workplace environment, and somehow this has something to do with Brett Favre. That amazed me. And then this morning I watched First Take, and Stephen A. Smith blew my mind. And so let's start there. Let's play some. There's, I think, 2 clips I want to play of Stephen A. Smith. Let's play them back to back. Both of them mind blowing to me.
And I'm going to take it a step further. I don't appreciate that being done to a brother. Because I got news for you, America. There's plenty of white folks in professional sports that's doing their thing. And I say that not complimentary. I don't see the information out about them. Why are we talking about this now? We got to talk about it because it's the news. Ain't none of our damn business unless you fire him. But if you keep him, it's none of our business. It should have never been. It should have never been put out there by the Celtics organization. And don't tell me you didn't do it, because you absolutely did it, because news reporters got it. So it emanated out of Boston. Somebody ain't in L.A. or Utah or something leaking this stuff about the Boston Celtics. Right. This is on y'all.
Okay, so, yep, there's Stephen A. Smith. And, so a lot of this goes back to a lot of the things, with Jason Whitlock, criticizing Stephen A. Smith for things. And, so a lot of this goes back to 2012. So it's, So Stephen A. Smith pretty much just can't stand Jason Whitlock. And it goes back to like 2012, when he criticized, First Take and all that. So, So that's why he's pretty much taking it out on Jason Whitlock. Because, he's, and he's not really the big star at ESPN. He's going to be pretty much, he even said it, that he's probably going to be fired or whatever. But he's still there. He's still working with ESPN. So we'll just have to just see what happens. And, it is what it is. And, with Jason Whitlock, he just, he's easy to pick on for this reason. So that's how it goes. All right. So if you enjoyed any of this content, man, give me the HKO special help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And that's where we're going to be. All right, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video.